We're continuing our work with transitioning from one chord to another, now looking at going to and from D and E. So find the D chord that we were just working on. And as you move from D to E, everything changes its place. So you think you're going from this shape here all the way to this shape here. A lot is going on with that change. So let's examine it real quick. So D, your index finger is going to lead the way. It's first in line, it's probably your smartest finger, so that's going to move. And it's going to move all the way over, conveniently enough, to the same string, but just on the first fret. So watch that here. They look like very different chord shapes, but you'll see that your index finger here is sliding over to the same spot. That's going to be a lead finger or a guide finger, okay? And once we get that one in the right place, if you know what the E major chord shape should feel like, your other fingers are going to be much more likely to pop in at the right spot. So there's our E, there's our D, okay? Slide that one over, okay? And I don't actually push down and slide. I usually have a slight little lift to it as I move, because that way I avoid that feeling on it as you're sliding from one string or from one fret to another. So a slight lift and then a move. Now once that one goes into place, these two fingers, which are in this shape right here, swap places. Your middle finger moves all the way up on the same fret. Just like with the last chord transition we talked about, if I can stay on the same string or the same fret, I'm staying on the same axis, and I can just move in one direction in having to move in several directions. So my index finger slides over on the same string. My middle finger slides up on the same fret to a different string. And then my ring finger, which we talked about in a previous video, is probably the dumb one of my fingers. Okay, that ring finger pops into place right behind the middle finger. You don't really even need to think about where that ring finger is going, because it's just popping back into place. So let's look at D. Index moves over on the same string. Middle finger moves all the way up to string 5, and then ring finger just pops into place right next to that. Okay, go back to D. Let's do that again. Here's D. Move over and up. Probably going to want to pause the video and go through that transition to where you feel that motion and you know the direction everything is moving. You can do it one finger at a time if you need to before you put all the fingers together. Then, when you're ready, resume this. So now we're going to go from E to D, and it is the reverse process to where I start moving my index finger, or start moving my middle finger down, and because it's the first string I'm moving to, I just think I move it down all the way, and then I move my index finger over. So I'm thinking middle finger moves all the way down and index finger moves over. Then I have two parts of my triangle. I can just pop my ring finger in on the spot in between. So on the way from D to E, it's like your middle finger leads the way, and on the way from E to D, it's like I'll say that again. On the way from D to E, it's like your index finger leads the way. On the way from E to D, it's like your middle finger is leading the way. So here's E, and again, finger moving down, finger moving over on the same string, ring finger pops into place. So let's do that transition. E, slide down over, find your way back to E, slide down over, and like with all the other chord videos that we practiced, start with one strum and 3 beats of rest, and then slowly decrease that. So we're going to start at D, strum, 2, 3, 4 E, 2, 3, 4 D, 2, 3, 4 E, and just keep going. And you could even change the tempo, whatever you need to do in order for it to speed up that transition and make it a little bit easier to go from one chord to the next. Of course, when we start working on songs that do that, then it's going to be that much more vital that you're able to stay in tempo and able to stay with the chords. One more time real quick, we're going to go 3 beats, 1 beat of rest on that transition, starting with D, and 1, 2, ready, go, strum, 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 change. D, E, D, E, D, E, D, E, D, E. Now 4 strums.